The African sun beats down with relentless force, its rays unyielding and merciless. Day after day the land is scorched beneath a sky that offers no relief, turning the heart of the continent into a vast shimmering furnace. The air itself seems to vibrate with heat, rising in shimmering waves from the cracked earth, distorting the horizon and blurring the line between land and sky. The wind, when it comes, is hot and dry, carrying with it the scent of dust and the faint, desperate aroma of parched vegetation. It's August 16th, 2025, and the dry season has reached its peak. The once lush Masai Mara and the winding Luangwa River have been transformed into cracked golden expanses. The earth is parched and the air shimmers with heat, as if the very ground is exhaling its last breath of moisture. Grasses that once waved green and tall now lie flattened and brittle, crunching underfoot, while the trees stand gaunt and leafless, their branches reaching skyward in silent supplication. Rivers that once teemed with life now recede, leaving behind only isolated pools and exposed barren banks. Waterholes shrink, becoming rare oases in a landscape dominated by dust and thirst. The riverbeds, etched deep into the earth, are now little more than memory, ghostly traces of water winding through the wilderness, their banks lined with the footprints of desperate animals. For the animals that call this place home, survival is a daily battle. Every step across the cracked earth is a search for water, for food, for shade, anything to escape the relentless sun. Herds of antelope and buffalo move in slow, deliberate lines, their bodies thin and their eyes wary, always searching for the promise of moisture. The air is filled with the low calls and distant cries of creatures driven by thirst, each one drawn inexorably toward the shrinking lifelines of water. The great migration begins, a breathtaking spectacle as millions of wildebeest and zebras surge across the Serengeti, driven by ancient instincts. They risk everything at the Mara River, where crocodiles and big cats lie in wait, sensing opportunity in the chaos. The pounding of hooves sends up clouds of dust, and the air is thick with tension as predator and prey converge at the water's edge, each moment charged with the possibility of life or death. In Zambia, the Luangwa River is reduced to a narrow, winding stream. Animals crowd together at its shrinking banks, forced into uneasy proximity as they compete for every precious drop. Elephants, desperate for water, use their powerful trunks to dig deep into the dry riverbed, searching for hidden reserves. The ground trembles beneath their weight as they work, their determination a testament to the will to survive in this unforgiving land. Giraffes, with their towering necks, splay their legs awkwardly to reach the water, vulnerable in these moments as they quench their thirst. Their long shadows stretch across the cracked mud, and every sip is a risk, for predators lurk nearby, waiting for a moment of weakness. Baboons forage tirelessly, digging for roots and tubers hidden beneath the dry soil, their resourcefulness tested by the harshness of the season. Their nimble fingers sift through dust and debris, searching for the smallest morsel, while the troop moves as one, ever alert to danger. Every species has its own strategy for survival, each adapting in its own way to the challenges of drought. But for one animal, the river is not just a resource, it is the very center of its existence. The river's ebb and flow dictate the rhythm of its life, shaping every moment from birth to death. This is the realm of the hippopotamus, its life, its world, bound to the rise and fall of Africa's rivers. As the water recedes, hippos huddle together, their massive bodies packed into shrinking pools, waiting for the rains to return. Their thick hides glisten in the sun, and their eyes and nostrils peek just above the surface, ever watchful. The hippo's grunts and bellows echo across the water, a chorus of resilience and defiance in the face of adversity. Here, at the water's edge, the drama of survival is at its most intense. Every day brings new challenges, and every creature must fight for its place in the parched heart of Africa. The river is a stage upon which the ancient struggle for life is played out, and in this crucible of heat and thirst only the strongest and most adaptable will endure. The hippopotamus, aptly named the river horse, exists in a realm where water and land are both home, yet each offers a world of its own. In the shimmering rivers of Africa, these colossal beings spend the daylight hours almost entirely submerged, their immense forms hidden beneath the surface, only the gentle ripples betraying their presence. The river is their sanctuary, a place where the sun's fierce rays are softened by the cool embrace of water, and the current carries the secrets of their silent community. With only their eyes, ears, and nostrils peeking above the water, hippos become part of the river itself. Their thick, sensitive skin is protected from the relentless sun, while their senses remain alert to every ripple and sound. Beneath the surface, they communicate with low grunts and bellows, their voices travelling through the water, weaving a tapestry of connection among the pod. As the sun dips below the horizon and the sky blushes with the colours of dusk, the river stirs with anticipation. One by one, hippos rise from their watery refuge, water streaming from their broad backs as they heave themselves onto the muddy banks. In single file, they follow ancient trails carved by generations, their massive bodies moving with surprising grace into the world of grass and shadow. Night transforms these aquatic giants into silent grazers. Under the cover of darkness, they traverse the open savanna, their wide mouths sweeping through the grass, consuming up to 40 kilograms in a single night. The land, vast and quiet, offers nourishment and space, but also demands vigilance, for the journey is long and the world outside the river is filled with unseen challenges. Despite their bulk, hippos move with astonishing speed and agility when roused. On land, they can outrun many would-be threats, their powerful legs propelling them across the terrain. In the water, their territorial instincts are fierce, and the river becomes a stage for displays of dominance and strength. Their jaws, capable of opening nearly 180 degrees, reveal a formidable array of teeth and tusks. These are not tools for grazing, but weapons for asserting power. A wide-mouthed yawn is both a warning and a challenge, a silent language understood by all who share the river. Within the river's boundaries, dominant bulls defend their stretches with relentless determination. Violent clashes erupt as rivals challenge for control, the water churning with the force of their battles. The outcome shapes the destiny of the pod, as strength and resolve decide who will lead and who must yield. Among the pod, life is a constant negotiation for space and safety. Mothers are ever vigilant, their calves nestled close, sometimes balanced atop their mothers' broad backs. Together, they surface for air in a gentle, synchronized dance, the bond between mother and calf unbreakable in the shifting currents. After an 8-month journey within the safety of the womb, calves are born in the shallows, greeted by the gentle lap of water and the watchful gaze of their mothers. For months they remain dependent, learning to navigate the dual worlds of river and land, guided by instinct and the ever-present protection of their family. The life of a hippo is a delicate balance, an existence shaped by the calm of the river and the wildness of the land. In these two worlds they find both peace and peril, their days and nights woven together by the rhythms of water, earth, and the enduring bonds of their kind. Deep within the Luangwa Valley, the dry season transforms the landscape into a crucible of survival. The once mighty river, lifeblood of the valley, recedes into a patchwork of muddy, isolated pools. Nearly 40,000 hippos, along with countless other creatures, are forced into these shrinking oases, their world closing in as water vanishes beneath the relentless sun. Overcrowding turns peaceful pods into volatile assemblies. Hippos, once content to lounge in spacious pools, now find themselves pressed flank to flank, their massive bodies jostling for every inch of space. The air is thick with tension, and every movement is watched with suspicion, not just by hippos, but by crocodiles lurking at the edges. and birds waiting for scraps. Bulls clash for territory, their thunderous battles echoing across the valley. Each fight is a test of strength and dominance, leaving deep wounds and stirring the water into chaos. Crocodiles, sensing opportunity, slip through the confusion, snapping at fish and scavenging the remains of the defeated. Calves are at constant risk, caught in the crossfire of adult aggression. The smallest and most vulnerable, they must navigate a world where danger lurks at every turn. Even antelope and other thirsty animals approach the water with caution, aware that a single misstep could draw the attention of a hungry predator or a defensive hippo. Mothers steer their young away from danger, weaving through the throng with vigilance. In this crowded arena, nowhere is truly safe. Storks and other birds pick through the mud, seizing insects and small creatures stirred up by the restless giants. As the pools shrink, food grows scarce. Hippos trek farther from water, searching for any remaining vegetation. Some are forced to eat aquatic plants, while others even consume dung to survive, an act of desperation in these harsh times. Alongside them, baboons and warthogs scavenge for roots and tubers, each species adapting to the pressure in its own way. Only the strongest bulls manage to hold territory and mate, while weaker males are relentlessly driven out, forced to wander the margins in search of safety and sustenance. Crocodiles, too, compete for the best basking spots, while vultures circle above, ever watchful for the fallen. The dry season is a crucible, testing, shaping, and selecting the fittest. Every hippo bears the marks of survival, their bodies scarred by conflict and hardship. Other animals, too, are marked by the struggle, their movements cautious and their bodies lean from hunger. The Luangwa's shrinking pools become arenas of survival, where every day is a struggle for space, food, and life itself. Here, the next generation is forged in adversity, and every creature must find its place in the ever-tightening web of competition. In this harsh environment, natural selection is raw and visible, ensuring that only the most resilient genes endure to shape the future of the herd. Scars tell the stories of battles won and lost, of close calls and narrow escapes. When the rains finally return, the survivors reclaim the river, their scars a testament to the trials they've overcome. The valley comes alive again as water breathes new life into every corner, and the pressure eases, if only for a while. Until then, every day in the Luangwa is a battle, a relentless test of endurance, strength, and the will to survive. Here in this pressure cooker of life, only the most adaptable and determined will see the next season. The Great Migration surges north, over 1 million wildebeest, their hooves drumming a thunderous rhythm across the plains. Alongside them, thousands of zebras move in unison, driven by hunger, instinct, and the promise of fresh grazing. But the Mara River stands in their path, a winding artery of life and death. Its steep banks and swirling currents are a formidable barrier, and beneath the surface, unseen dangers lurk. At the water's edge, tension crackles in the air. Wildebeest and zebra crowd together, eyes wide, nostrils flaring, as the river's secrets ripple before them. Suddenly one leaps, and the herd follows in a desperate, chaotic surge. The river explodes with movement. Bodies thrash, hooves churn the muddy water, and the weak are swept away by the relentless current or trampled in the crush. Crocodiles, ancient and patient, strike from below, jaws snapping shut on the unwary. On the banks, lions wait, eyes fixed on the stragglers, ready to seize any opportunity. The fallen become a feast for many. Vultures descend in swirling clouds, hyenas scavenge the banks, and fish pick the bones clean beneath the surface. Even in death, the wildebeest nourish the river's web of life. Yet the river is not only a place of peril. For those who survive, it is a source of renewal. Herds regroup, shaken but resilient, their journey forging bonds of endurance and hope. For every loss, thousands endure, their survival fueling the endless cycle of life that pulses through the savanna. The Mara River is both a barrier and a lifeline. Its waters quench the thirst of antelope, elephants, and birds, while its banks shelter countless creatures. Here hippos reign as silent sentinels. Massive and territorial, they carve out their own space in the river's depths, surfacing to breathe, bellow, and warn off intruders. Calves huddle close to their mothers, learning the ways of the water, while adults clash in thunderous displays of dominance. For hippos, survival is a daily struggle, navigating shifting currents, defending young from lurking crocodiles, and finding enough grass on the riverbanks to sustain their massive bodies. Their presence shapes the river's ecosystem, churning mud, fertilizing the water, and creating channels that benefit fish and birds alike. Around them, life flourishes. Birds hitch rides on their backs, fish dart in their wake, and the riverbank teems with creatures drawn to the water's edge. In this river of life and death, every creature plays a part. Survival is a matter of courage, timing, and luck, woven together in the eternal drama of the wild. Along the winding banks of the Mara River, lions crouch low in the tall grass, their golden eyes fixed on the water's edge. The pride is silent, every muscle tensed as they wait for the great migration to deliver its bounty. The wildebeest arrive in waves, their hooves churning the mud, their bodies weary from the journey. For the lions, this is a season of abundance. The weakest and most exhausted lag behind, becoming easy targets for the pride's swift and coordinated attacks. Lionesses fan out, using the riverbank's cover to their advantage. They communicate with subtle glances and flicks of their tails, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When the time comes, they surge forward, singling out a vulnerable wildebeest and bringing it down with practiced precision. The pride gathers around the kill, their roars echoing across the plains. For days the carcass sustains them, strengthening bonds between mothers, cubs, and the dominant male. Beneath the river's surface, another predator waits. Nile crocodiles, ancient and patient, drift with only their eyes above water, blending seamlessly with the muddy current. When the wildebeest plunge into the river, chaos erupts. Crocodiles explode from the depths, jaws snapping shut with bone-crushing force. They drag their prey beneath the surface, the struggle hidden by swirling water and foam. The river becomes a larder, its banks littered with the remains of the fallen. Crocodiles feast for days, their powerful bodies twisting as they tear flesh from bone. Yet even these formidable hunters show moments of tenderness. A mother crocodile gathers her hatchlings gently in her jaws, carrying them safely to the water's edge, where they will begin their own perilous journey. During the migration, the river is a battleground. Wildebeest leap into the current, desperate to escape both lions on the banks and crocodiles in the water. Instinct drives every movement, and only the strongest survive. Here, lions and crocodiles share the same territory, their paths crossing in uneasy truce. Both are drawn to the river's bounty, but neither dares challenge the other directly. Each respects the other's power. Sometimes, a lion's hunt is interrupted by a crocodile's sudden lunge. At other times, a crocodile's meal is stolen by a bold lion. Every meal is a contest of strength, patience, and timing. Amidst this drama, hippos loom as silent giants. Though herbivores, they are fiercely territorial, and both lions and crocodiles give them a wide berth. A hippo's charge can scatter a pride or send crocodiles fleeing for deeper water. Hippos patrol the shallows, their massive jaws gaping in warning. Crocodiles slip away at their approach, and even lions hesitate to cross a hippo's path. The river's balance depends on this uneasy coexistence. In this wild theatre, every animal plays a role. Lions, crocodiles, and hippos shape the fate of the herds and the river itself. The Mara is a stage for Africa's most dramatic encounters, where survival is written in tooth, claw, and instinct. In the golden light of dawn, the cheetah, Africa's swiftest hunter, moves with silent precision. Muscles coiled, it waits for the perfect moment, eyes fixed on a young wildebeest straying from the herd. Suddenly, the chase erupts. The cheetah explodes forward, reaching breathtaking speeds in seconds, its slender body built for this very pursuit. With each stride, it closes the gap, targeting the vulnerable, the isolated. Sometimes a zebra foal, sometimes a wildebeest calf. The hunt is a blur of motion, but the aftermath is just as intense. Success means a precious meal, but time is short. The cheetah must eat quickly, tearing into its prize before the scent draws in larger, more powerful predators, lions, hyenas, or even a lurking crocodile from a nearby riverbank. Every second counts. As the cheetah retreats, the next act begins. Vultures, with their razor-sharp vision, circle high above, waiting for the signal. In moments they descend in a swirling mass, their wings casting fleeting shadows over the savanna. They swarm the remains, stripping flesh from bone with ruthless efficiency, their numbers growing as the feast continues. Marabou storks, tall and patient, stride in among the chaos, their massive bills perfect for picking at scraps left behind. Hyenas with jaws strong enough to crush bone join the fray, devouring what others cannot. Their laughter echoes across the plains, a signal that nothing will go to waste. Even the mighty hippos, though not hunters or scavengers, play a role in this intricate web. Their presence near waterholes shapes the landscape, creating pools where animals gather and sometimes where the drama of life and death unfolds. Hippos graze by night, and by day their massive bodies churn the mud, helping to recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. The clean-up crew, vultures, storks, hyenas, and even the hippos, work together in a silent partnership. Vultures pick the bones clean, hyenas crush what's left, and hippos, by shaping waterways and grazing, ensure the land remains fertile for the next generation. Every scrap is consumed, every bone broken, every nutrient returned to the earth. Nothing is wasted in this cycle. The savanna thrives on this balance, from the swift hunter to the patient scavenger, from the silent hippo to the circling vulture. Each animal plays its part. The cycle of life and death is complete, sustaining the wild heart of Africa. The dry season tests every species. As the sun scorches the savanna, waterholes shrink and the earth cracks beneath the relentless heat. Survival becomes a daily challenge, and every animal must draw on its unique strength to endure. Elephants, the giants of the plains, use their large ears to fan themselves, cooling their blood as temperatures soar. When rivers run dry, they use their powerful trunks and tusks to dig deep into the parched riverbeds, unearthing hidden water. These wells become lifelines, not just for elephants, but for countless other creatures desperate for a drink. But as water becomes scarce, these precious pools draw animals together, and sometimes into conflict. Hippos, who rely on water to keep their skin moist and bodies cool, crowd into the shrinking pools alongside elephants. Tensions rise as both giants compete for space and survival. Hippos spend their days packed tightly in the muddy remnants of waterholes, their thick skin shielded from the sun by a natural secretion that acts as sunscreen. As dusk falls, they emerge from the water, travelling far across the dry land in search of grass, their only chance to feed before the heat returns. Elephants, too, must keep moving. Their massive bodies require vast amounts of food, so they journey for miles, browsing on whatever sparse vegetation remains. Each step is a search for sustenance, every mouthful a victory against the drought. Giraffes, towering above the plains, use their height to reach the last green leaves high in the treetops. But when thirst drives them to waterholes, they must splay their legs and bend low, making them vulnerable to lurking predators. Every drink is a risk, but a necessary one. Baboons, ever resourceful, dig into the hard earth with nimble fingers, searching for roots and bulbs that hold precious moisture. Their sharp eyes and clever hands help them find what others might miss, turning the dry ground into a hidden pantry. Even in these harsh times, life goes on. Young giraffes spar with their necks, play fighting to build strength and establish their place in the herd. These playful battles are practice for the challenges that lie ahead. Across the savanna, every animal adapts in its own way. Some dig, some reach, some forage tirelessly. Each strategy a testament to resilience. In the end, adaptation is the only way to survive Africa's unforgiving dry season. For hippos and all who share this land, every day is a test of endurance, ingenuity, and the will to live. In the heart of Africa's rivers, hippos reign not just as giants, but as master architects of their watery world. Their presence shapes the very landscape, weaving together the lives of countless creatures in a delicate, unseen balance. Each evening, hippos leave the safety of the river, lumbering onto the grassy banks to graze under the cover of darkness. As they feed, they trim the grasslands, preventing overgrowth and maintaining open spaces that benefit antelope, birds, and other wildlife. When dawn breaks, they return to the water, carrying with them the nutrients from the land. Their excrement, released into the river, is more than waste. It is a vital gift, fertilizing the water and nourishing the web of life below the surface. Hippo dung settles on the riverbed, feeding blooms of algae and aquatic plants. These, in turn, become food for swarms of insects and schools of fish, creating a cascade of nourishment that ripples through the ecosystem. As hippos move through the shallows, their massive bodies carve deep channels and pools into the riverbed. During the harsh dry season, these watery refuges become sanctuaries for fish and other aquatic life, offering a lifeline when the river shrinks and the sun scorches the land. With every step and every roll, hippos stir the river's waters, churning up mud and releasing oxygen. This natural aeration keeps the water fresh, preventing stagnation and supporting the delicate balance needed for fish, frogs, and insects to thrive. Their story stretches back through time. Though they seem so at home in the river, hippos are distant cousins of the mighty whale, sharing an ancient bond that links river to ocean, past to present. Beneath the surface, hippos give birth and raise their young, their low rumbles and gentle nudges echoing through the water. Here they communicate in a language of bubbles and vibrations, bridging the worlds of land and river. The daily routines of hippos ripple outward, shaping the lives of all who share their domain. Birds, fish, insects, and mammals alike depend on the habitats hippos create, their survival intertwined with the rhythms of these river architects. As the sun sets and the river glows, the hippo stands as a silent sentinel, a true architect of Africa's rivers, sustaining a world of life with every step, every breath, and every ripple they create. As the dry season reaches its harshest point, the river banks of the Mara and Luangwa transform into arenas of survival. The earth cracks beneath the relentless sun, and the once mighty rivers shrink to narrow, muddy channels. Here nature's harshness is met with remarkable resilience. Hippos, their skin caked in mud, huddle together in the last remaining pools, conserving moisture and energy as the water recedes around them. Every creature is locked in a daily struggle. Elephants dig deep into the riverbed, searching for hidden water. Antelope and zebra risk the open banks, wary of lurking predators. Crocodiles lie in wait, motionless, while scavengers comb the shore for scraps. The drama of survival unfolds with every sunrise. The strong persist, the weak falter, and the ever-watchful vultures circle above, ready to claim what remains. Each death feeds new life. Elephants unearth water for others, giraffes stretch for the last green leaves, and scavengers cleanse the land. Hippos, even as they struggle, enrich the river with nutrients, sustaining the ecosystem. Hippos, with their immense bodies, endure the heat by submerging in the thickest mud, their skin shielded from the sun. At dusk they emerge to graze on sparse grasses, their resilience evident in every heavy step. The dry season is a relentless test, stripping the land to its barest essentials. Only the most adaptable survive, and every creature is shaped by this crucible. The ecosystem is refined, its inhabitants honed by adversity. Each day the river's edge becomes a gathering place for the desperate and the determined. Then at last the sky darkens and the first rains fall. Rivers swell, mud gives way to flowing water, and the land breathes again. Green shoots burst from the earth, grasslands flourish, and the rivers run full. Hippos reclaim their watery domain, calves frolic in the renewed flow, the great herds disperse across the plains, predators sharpen their senses, and the wild is alive with movement and sound. Hippos glide through the deep water, their strength restored. The cycle begins anew, each season a testament to endurance and adaptation. At the river's edge, life gathers in abundance. Elephants, zebras, hippos, and countless others thrive, each playing a part in the endless rhythm of survival. Here, struggle and renewal are the heartbeat of the wild. Season after season, Africa's animals endure, resilient, resourceful, and forever bound to the river's edge. Beneath the calm surface of the river, a hidden world of communication unfolds. Hippos, often silent to the casual observer, are in fact masters of subtle and complex expression. As dawn breaks, low grunts and deep bellows echo across the water, sounds that travel great distances both above and below the surface. These powerful calls serve as territorial warnings and family greetings, the river resonating with their unique timbre. But hippo language is more than just sound. A flick of the ear, a ripple in the water, the opening of a massive jaw, each gesture carries meaning. Dominant males announce their presence with impressive yawns, exposing formidable tusks, while a gentle nudge or a soft snort signals reassurance among mothers and calves. Even the splash of a tail can relay irritation or playfulness. Underwater hippos produce a chorus of clicks and pulses, inaudible to human ears but vital to their social structure. These acoustic signals help maintain bonds in murky depths where sight is limited. Young calves learn the intricacies of this language, mimicking elders and forging their place within the group. When tensions rise, body language becomes even more pronounced. A sideways display, a sudden lunge, or the bubbling of water warns rivals to keep their distance. Yet moments later, the same hippos may rest side by side, their massive bodies touching in peaceful unity. In this watery realm, every sound and movement is a thread in the tapestry of hippo society. Through their secret language, these giants maintain order, nurture family ties, and navigate the ever-changing world of the river. In silence and in song, hippos speak the ancient tongue of survival, one that binds them to each other and to the life-giving water they call home. As the sun dips below the horizon, a new chapter in the life of the river begins. Under the cover of dusk, massive shadows stir along the banks. The hippos, so at home in the water by day, now answer the primal call of hunger. One by one, they rise from their aquatic sanctuary, lumbering on to land in a silent procession. Their mission is simple, yet vital to graze. Despite their fearsome appearance, hippos feed almost exclusively on grass. With surprising agility, they travel well-worn paths, sometimes venturing miles from the river's edge in search of the freshest shoots. Their wide mouths sweep over the savanna, cropping grass with remarkable efficiency, each adult consuming up to 80 pounds in a single night. This nocturnal grazing shapes the landscape in subtle but profound ways. As hippos feed, they trim the grasslands, preventing overgrowth and encouraging new shoots to sprout. Their well-trodden trails carve channels into the earth, guiding rainwater back toward the river and helping to irrigate the floodplain. But the hippo's impact does not end at the water's edge. By day their waste, rich in nutrients, returns to the river, feeding the aquatic plants and nourishing tiny organisms at the base of the food web. Fish thrive in these fertile waters, and birds gather in abundance, drawn by the promise of life. In this way, hippos act as both gardeners and engineers of their ecosystem. Their nightly feasts maintain the balance between land and water, linking the fate of the river to the rhythms of the grasslands. Each mouthful is a quiet act of stewardship, sustaining not just themselves but the entire community of the Luangwa. As dawn approaches, the hippos return to the river, their bellies full and their work complete. The land behind them is changed, trimmed, fertilized, and ready to burst with new growth. In the endless cycle of feeding and returning, hippos write their legacy on the landscape, ensuring that the river remains a cradle of life for generations to come. As the first light of dawn glimmers on the river, a quieter drama unfolds beneath the surface, the story of new life. Hidden among the adult giants, young hippo calves nestle close to their mothers, shielded from danger by the watchful eyes of the entire pod. Hippo families, known as pods, are tightly knit communities, often led by a dominant male and comprising several females and their offspring. Within these watery nurseries, the bond between mother and calf is unbreakable. From the moment of birth, which often takes place in the shallow edges of the river, a mother gently guides her newborn to the surface for its first breath. The calf's earliest days are spent almost entirely in the water, where the mother keeps her baby afloat, nuzzling and nudging with remarkable tenderness. Even in slumber, the calf rests atop its mother's broad back, safe from lurking dangers. Other females in the pod, often related, act as guardians, forming a circle of protection around the youngest members. Learning to swim and graze is a gradual process. Under the patient gaze of their mothers, calves practice submerging and surfacing, mastering the art of river life. When the pod moves onto land, calves follow, mimicking the adults as they nibble at the grass, slowly developing the strength they'll need to survive. Yet life for a young hippo is not without peril. Crocodiles and lions patrol the river's edge, and only the collective vigilance of the pod ensures the safety of the calves. Through grunts, bellows, and body language, the hippos communicate, a secret language that keeps the group united and alert. As weeks turn into months, the calves grow bolder, venturing further from their mothers, but never straying far from the pod. The lessons learned in these early days, how to swim, feed, and stay safe, are the foundation for a lifetime on the river. Within the pod, every calf is a promise, a living testament to the resilience of the Luangwa. Through nurturing and communal care, the next generation of hippos prepares to take its place in the endless cycle of river life, ensuring that the mighty Luangwa will echo with their calls for many seasons to come. As the sun sets on the Luangwa River, the tranquil waters mask a world fraught with danger. While hippos reign supreme in their aquatic realm, they are far from invincible. Predators and rivals lurk in the shadows, each presenting a unique threat to these formidable giants. Under the cover of darkness, the riverbanks become the hunting grounds for stealthy predators. Crocodiles, ancient and powerful, glide silently beneath the surface. With jaws capable of crushing bone, these reptiles are ever watchful, waiting for the moment when a young calf strays too far from its protective pod. A sudden splash, a swift strike, and the river claims another victim. The vigilant eyes of the pod are the calf's best defense, but even the most diligent guardians can't prevent every attack. Beyond the river, the night belongs to the lions. These apex predators prowl the riverbanks, their golden eyes gleaming in the moonlight. A pride of lions, driven by hunger, can pose a significant threat, especially to hippos that venture onto land to graze. The massive bulk of an adult hippo is a daunting challenge even for a pride, but a young or injured hippo can become an easier target. The roar of a lion and the answering bellow of a hippo echo through the night, a stark reminder of the ever-present danger. Not all threats are external. Within the hippo community itself, rivalries can turn deadly. Dominant males or bulls fiercely guard their territory and the females within it. Battles for dominance are brutal, with clashes that can result in severe injuries or even death. The victor claims supremacy, while the defeated must retreat, often bearing the scars of the confrontation. These internal struggles ensure that only the strongest genes are passed on, maintaining the resilience of the pod. The river itself can be an adversary. During the dry season, water levels drop, leading to overcrowding and increased tension among the hippos. Limited resources intensify conflicts, and the weakened state of some individuals makes them more vulnerable to predators. The harsh environment tests their endurance, pushing them to the brink of survival. Yet amid these trials, the hippos endure. Their ability to navigate a world filled with predators and rivals is a testament to their strength and adaptability. Each day in the Luangwa is a battle, but it is also a victory, a testament to the resilience of these magnificent creatures. In the heart of Africa, the struggle for survival continues, an eternal dance between predator and prey, strength and vulnerability. And as the dawn breaks, the hippos of the Luangwa River rise once more, ready to face the challenges of a new day. Beneath the surface drama of survival, hippos play a role far greater than their size alone suggests. They are the silent gardeners of the Luangwa, shaping the very heartbeat of the river ecosystem through a process as ancient as the river itself, nutrient cycling. Each night, herds of hippos leave the water to graze on the floodplain grasses. As they feed, they consume vast quantities of vegetation, fueling their massive bodies. But what returns to the river is just as important as what is taken. By day, hippos spend hours submerged, releasing nutrient-rich dung directly into the water. This seemingly simple act sets off a cascade of life. The dung dissolves, releasing nitrogen and phosphorus, vital nutrients that fertilize the river and feed countless microorganisms. Clouds of algae and bacteria bloom, forming the base of the aquatic food web. Tiny fish and invertebrates flourish, feeding on this bounty and in turn become prey for larger fish, birds, and even crocodiles. These daily migrations and the cycle of consumption and return transform the river, enriching its waters and sustaining life far beyond the hippos themselves. During the dry season, as water levels shrink and resources dwindle, these nutrients become even more precious, supporting the survival of countless species. In this way, hippos act as living bridges between land and water, their presence essential to the health and balance of the river ecosystem. Every ripple, every movement, every return to the river shapes the world around them. Proof that sometimes the most profound impact comes not from the battles fought, but from the quiet rhythms of life itself. As the African seasons shift, the Luangwa River transforms from a broad, flowing artery to a narrow ribbon of life. For hippos, these changes are not just a backdrop. They are a call to adapt, a challenge woven into every instinct. During the lush, wet season, water is plentiful, and hippos spread out, basking in the abundance. There is space for all, ample grazing grounds and deep pools to rest in. Social groups are calm, and territorial disputes are rare. Calves are born into a world of plenty, their mothers doting and vigilant. But as the dry season arrives, everything tightens. The river shrinks, herds are forced closer together, and competition intensifies. Hippos crowd into shrinking pools, their massive bodies pressed side by side, each seeking relief from the relentless sun. Tempers flare, and the air fills with bellows and grunts, a language of warning and negotiation. Food becomes scarce, and nightly journeys grow longer. Hippos venture farther from water, braving the darkness in search of the last green shoots. Mothers guide their calves carefully, teaching them the ancient routes between water and grass. Every step is measured, every decision critical. Some pools dry up completely, and hippos must move, sometimes traveling miles to find refuge. Their skin, sensitive to sun and heat, cracks and bleeds without the river's embrace. Yet they endure, resting during the hottest hours, submerging whenever possible, and relying on the strength of the group. In these hardest months, the hippo's resilience is revealed, their ability to adapt, to stretch their routines, to tolerate hardship, to find new paths, ensures that when the rains finally return, the herds will greet the swollen river once more. The cycle endures, shaped by the seasons, mastered by the hippos.